Hey guys, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Black Lightning Season 3 review series. And today I am going to be talking about Episode 2, The Book of Occupation, Chapter 2, Maryam's Tasbih. Now this episode was pretty much a continuation of what we saw back in Episode 1 of the season premiere, and basically what we saw was Jefferson is being held in the facility where he's wearing a power dampening collar courtesy of Agent Odell. We also saw Tobias is being held prisoner in that facility and he's aging terribly, and we also see that Agent Odell is going around picking up all different young metahumans and trying to put together an army to use as his weapons. So this episode pretty much picks up where we left off, and I would honestly say this episode was really good. I really enjoyed this one a lot. As I said, pretty much a continuation of what we saw prior to episode 1, so it's picking up where we left off. But yes, I really like this one a lot, and we're off to a really good start with season 3, so let's hope they keep it up. So with that all said, let's get right into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about episode 2, The Book of Occupation, chapter 2, Maryam's Tasbih. So we pretty much pick up where we left off, where we see the young Asian lady from the beginning of the season premiere going through some very horrible side effects from the tests that were being run on her in the ASA facility before being moved to Lala in a hotel room trying to operate the briefcase. He's waiting for Tobias Well to find him. Meanwhile, at the police station, Henderson holds a press conference stating that the ASA now has to approve all media broadcasts and information, and blames the attack on the detention centre on the Markovians discovering things due to the media, except that the attack wasn't from the Markovians. Elsewhere we see Agent Odell gets a communication about the Markovians and calls for Commander Williams. Jefferson and Lynn chat while in the detention centre, and Lynn asks him if he wants to go through some data with her. Jefferson points out that Odell is playing her, and pretty soon Williams shows up to the room as they suddenly can't hear him. Jefferson wants to contact his kids to let them know that he and his mum are okay, but Williams refuses. He asks them to follow him. They've scanned and then taken into a new living area where it is far more luxurious. They want Lynn's help with the kids who have got meta powers and the green light babies. Jefferson is starting to question whether the validity of the Markovian threat is actually real. He and Lynn disagree on how to handle the situation, while elsewhere a bunch of young men arrive in a transport reporting for duty at Wolfsbane's Mountain. It turns out the Markovian threat is very much real and they're coming to Freeland. Commander Williams also shows up at the police station and declares martial law and takes one of the officers claiming she uses green light and could possibly be a metahuman. Meanwhile, outside the perimeter, Blackbird, aka Anissa, is fine and is trying to follow the lead metas to safety, but the Purdy she saved from Looker last year is not happy. Jennifer is paid a visit by Agent Odell because the surveillance system in the house crashed. He's looking for Anissa, but offers her a phone with a video from her parents and tells her she can call him on that phone. Meanwhile, out on the street, Lala goes looking for information. It looks like Agent Odell is possibly trying to recruit Jennifer to his side, but at the same time he's been very evasive about why he wants her, so it's possible he could be grooming her as sort of like his ultimate weapon. The Purdy wants to put limits on their help with the metas. Blackbird gets violent and aggressive when the Purdy attempt to stand their ground. Meanwhile, in Freeland, Henderson secretly meets up with Gamby, and Gamby needs something from Henderson to save Anissa, but Henderson resists. This should be quite interesting to see Gamby and Henderson working together, because they're both Black Lightning's two most important allies, but they've never actually worked together that much, so this should be quite an interesting alliance, to say the least. Meanwhile, in the ASA facility, Lynn tries to help Maryam. Her body is breaking down from the use of her powers, which is why she's having so many terrible symptoms. In Freeland, Henderson confronts Williams about his taken officer, and during the distraction, Gamby sneaks in and takes whatever it is he needs. Lala confronts people over the rations when a rival gangster shows up and shoots him. Of course, Lala doesn't stay dead for long and the other guy flees. The Purdy have a change of heart when one of the metahumans is revealed to be able to control plants. Gamby is able to contact Anissa and reveals that units are gathering potentially to invade the Purdy. Anissa takes them out, but it turns out those units were actually Markovian after all. With Jefferson's help, Lynn tries to help Maryam, but she collapses. Elsewhere in the facility, it's revealed that Khalil is alive, but is now being used as a weapon, programmed by Adele, and he is now known as the Painkiller, and that they plan to use him as a target to kill someone. The target is none other than his mother. Khalil is the test of a brain wipe chip, and Maryam reveals to Jefferson some of the details of what she has seen in the facility. Adele makes it clear he knows about Jefferson's power increase. Later, Jefferson tells Lynn what Maryam told him, and she's not happy he spoke with her. They fight, and in Freeland, Khalil as the Painkiller shows up at his mother's house and murders her in cold blood. At school, Jennifer attempts to break up a fight and ends up beating up the two who attacked her, while briefly manifesting her powers, and that's how episode 2 ends. Overall, very good episode. You know, it's very interesting to see that Khalil is alive, especially as he was supposed to have died originally, so it's very interesting to see what kind of role he will play with Odell. And also, it looks like, as for Painkiller, Khalil is being groomed to be Odell's ultimate weapon. So, very good episode, enjoyed this a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this will play out. So, I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your thoughts on this episode? Did you think it was good? What did you think of Khalil coming back as the Painkiller and working with Odell? What about Jefferson's power boost? Do you think that could give him an edge in fighting crime? And also, how do you think him and Lynn will get out of the facility? What about Jennifer's powers briefly manifesting? Do you think she will be able to control them better? What's your thoughts on Anissa's Blackbird persona? Do you think she could work with Jefferson's Black Lightning persona? And could she possibly be the new hero for Freeland? What about Gamby and Henderson? Do you think they can work together to make a difference? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will be back next time for another edition of the Black Lightning Season 3 review series, where I'll be talking about Episode 3. So until next time, take care everybody, and stay safe.